From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Thursday's edition of For the People on February 23rd, 2017. Thank you so much for your understanding yesterday. I was out of town just briefly. I am a grandpa. Kind of sounds a little weird, but I'm liking it. But my granddaughter, she had to have surgery. She was born with a birth defect called Erb's palsy in one of her arms, and it affects 1 in 1,000 babies. So if you've never heard of what that is, but basically the baby gets stuck or yanked, and usually yanked a little bit manhandled. And what happens is the nerves rip and tear in the shoulder, and the usability is almost non-existent. So what they had to do, 5-hour surgery about yesterday in Orlando at Arnold Palmer Hospital, which has been ranked the top 10 hospitals according to U.S. News and World Report. I saw this big jacket cover in one of the waiting rooms. I thought that was pretty impressive. But the surgeon was able to reconnect everything and use some nerves from her legs and reattach things from her shoulders so she can have, maneuverability where she can put her arm up, side to side, just things that we take for granted every single day. She's just not been able to do it 6 months, and she's been going through therapy most of her life already, believe it or not, for 4 months, just trying to teach her how to do different things with it. But she hasn't been able to crawl, but she made it through the surgery. She was definitely in pain, and she sounded like, a wounded dog. I mean, whimpering. It was really, really sad. They gave her morphine, and so they're back and forth between Tylenol and Motrin. And hopefully today she'll be released. But, wow, that was a kind of scary. I mean, for anybody that goes into a surgery, it's kind of a unnerving thing. But, my stepdaughter's baby, my wife's there, I'm there, and seeing this, it just, we would love the child to tears. But, it's risky anytime you go in for any surgery. And the surgeon came out and said that it was a picture-perfect surgery, and thank you for many, many, many of your coveted prayers. You prayed, and we are a firm believer here at For the People that prayer certainly does work, and your prayers touched heaven and touched our baby. Appreciate that. It's my granddaughter, so she's like my baby. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing, and my daughter, Kaylee, was along for the ride and was terrific. She had to come back with me. She couldn't stay, but we stayed at the Gaylord, which is a beautiful convention center there in Orlando. We were able to get an amazing discount and stay there and enjoy that. If you've never stayed at a Gaylord hotel or convention center, I've only been to the convention center for a convention or two, but I was just stunned how gorgeous it is inside one of the hotels. So if you're ever able to stay at one or at least peek in one or have a brunch or something, if there's one nearby you, it's worth actually going to check it out. It was a pretty big deal. Big loss to television journalism and to radio. And, Alan Colmes, I got to know as a young man back in New York. You may have seen him on Fox News. Hannity and Colmes, Alan Colmes, the radio show. Alan Colmes was on WMCA, and I got to meet him for the first time when I was 16, and then up into the 80s. He had a 2-year stint after NBC decided to change formats and not do the talk thing anymore, and so WMCA embraced him, and the ratings were a pretty big deal. Now, most of you probably know that Alan Colmes is a liberal, but he was not a nasty liberal. Alan Colmes was a guy who believed in freedom of speech more than anybody I know on television. I mean, he fought for what he believed in, but he never got ugly. He never got dirty. He was always a gentleman. And I have really good memories of him, very kind. My dad introduced me several times when he started working at the radio station, but was just always kind and would always say hello to anybody in the hallway. And just remembering that when I first met him, and then through the years, running into him, bumping into him, was always kind, wasn't too busy to ever say hello or flash a big smile. And that's what many of his colleagues in television, Sean Hannity, had nothing but beautiful things to say about him, but he had some kind of illness that came on him and took him out real fast. We're not real sure exactly what that might be. I'm sure it'll come out, but right now his wife and family are asking. I'm sure Sean Hannity knows exactly what it is, but he's passed nevertheless. And it just goes to show you, though, my thought is that you can have disagreements, but you agree to disagree. And you can be friends. You can talk about other things. You can have a life. Too many people write off people because they don't believe as they believe. They don't do what they do. And that's a shame. And that's the problem with a lot of our country, is that we don't even try to appreciate even where they come from. And I have friends from every walk of life. A lot of times we don't get into some of the nitty-gritty things that we talk about daily here on the radio show, but we do have friendly conversations about all sorts of things that we have in common. And, when it's all said and done, we have, I believe, truly more things in common if we would just see eye to eye and just see it for what it is. But for whatever reason, there's a lot of folks that are just not like that. Alan was not one. He could be friends with Bill O'Reilly, and they sparred over so many different things. I want you to hear Alan Colmes. I'm a radio buff. I've loved radio and got into radio many, many years ago. And this is Alan Colmes coming to WMCA. This is like a quarter segment, is what we call it in radio. And on WMCA at that time, they were doing 13-minute segments because they plug in commercials. This is a quarter segment, and I want you just to kind of listen to it. This is his first one signing on to WMCA back in 1989. The quality is not all that great. Believe it or not, it was on tape and was a little degraded, so I want you just to hear it, though. But his personality, I believe, shined through. Here he is, Alan Colmes.
I'm Alan Colmes. Monday night, Weird Al Yankovic will be our guest. And also next week, Rudolph Giuliani and Dick Gregory, Stephen Patty McDonald, and others, as we work on them. Last night, I offered a rare service to our listeners and gave you the opportunity to call up with your problems. And I think I really helped a lot of people here last night. I offered my lovelorn advice and advice on other life problems. And I realized that maybe doing that kind of thing isn't really in sync with this program. So tonight, something which I think better fits the format of the show, I want those of you who have no problems, those of you whose life is going great, call me up and I will give you problems. Because if your life is going very well, you really got no problems, call me up and I'm sure we can find some. Because, there's all these advice shows on, and they always, they're dedicated to helping you out with your financial problems or travel problems or real estate problems, whatever it is. So, I want you to know that it doesn't have to work that way. So we could do a segment of, here's your problem. Just call me up and things are going pretty well for you. Maybe you just got that raise, or, maybe you just met that woman or man of your dreams. You can call me up and I think we can find probably some ways that things maybe aren't as good as you think they are. What's the problem in there? Huh? Yes? What? You have no problems. You work for a wonderful man, right? So your life is peaches and cream. I understand that. Are you not happy with me? Huh? Yeah. You don't like me, do you? You don't like me. Yeah. You don't like my shirt, but you like me. It's an off green. It's an odd color. It's a very summery color, right? What's the problem? You had birds who hatched eggs outside your house that color. It's a puce. I don't know what color it is. Some off color. WMCA, hello.
Hi, Alan. You must feel pretty good after what happened in Israel yesterday, you Palestinian bigot.
The same guy calling me all the time, loves America Hana, get off it, and, expand your knowledge. Talk about something else. Hello. You're on WMCA, hello. And you're on WMCA, hello.
Oh, Alan, do you know what the weather's going to be tomorrow?
I don't.
Okay, well, could you find out and let me know later on?
Yeah. WMCA, hello.
Find out and let me know.
Hello, Alan.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you that I'm doing great and I have no problems.
Okay.
It's my friend who has a problem.
No, I don't want people who have problems. If your life is great and you have no problems, you're the people we want because too many radio shows help you solve your problems. I feel that the reverse must be true. We must find people whose life is great.
But you have to be, have to be humanitarian. So you can help.
No, we did that last night. Now we have to do the other side of the coin.
Help my friends.
No, I'm not helping people with their problems tonight.
Alan, help them.
No, I can't do that tonight.
Why not?
That was last night. He could have called me last night. And besides,
His wife's listening for another woman.
What's that?
His wife's listening for another woman. He's going crazy.
Well, that's not a problem.
He thinks that
Because now we can have a great three-way and with two babes.
he thinks.
You're on WMCA. Hello. How you doing? What's that? I'm doing fine, thanks. What do you say? You have no problems? Yes, you do. You swallowed a harmonica. And you're on WMCA. Hello.
Oh, who's this?
Gary Null.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, it's Alan Combs. Is that who you were calling?
Oh, is this Helen Cole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I called because I think I have a problem. I
want people with no problems.
Yeah, I think you're very funny. I really enjoy when I listened first, I thought you was crazy. Tonight, I thought you were funny. And a few times, I think you're very good, and I like your laugh. And you should be doing better. You'd get a great job.
What do you mean I should be doing better? Why is everybody...
They're looking for people in Europe, in Ireland. They're looking for people on the radio. And you'd really get a great job over there. And you wouldn't have to listen to this baloney you have to listen to.
Oh, I love this baloney.
You do? Okay, good luck.
Okay,
That's one thing that I totally miss being on the radio is being able to take live calls unscreened. You have no idea what somebody's going to say. We actually are not taking calls at this time until we actually arrange a flagship radio station. We have flagship stations in mind that we would love to have, but we have many stations that carry us, but we're just on at various times in your particular market. But one day we will do this, and that makes it very exciting to me. That's why I got into radio, is to be able to get different points of view or have people weigh in. You learn stuff from other people because, you can't comb every single wire, or people will call to totally disagree with you or support what you're actually having to say. But I always think it kind of adds to the conversation, and it is always good conversation here on For the People. Alan Combs, he once told USA Today, he says, "I'm quite moderate. I follow Rush Limbaugh on about 100 stations, and I precede other conservatives, so I may be the only person giving a different point of view." Rest in peace, Alan Combs. You did give a different point of view, and you put up a good fight, but you led a good life, and you were a good man, and we'll miss you. Thank you. Alan, I could send an email to at Fox and his personal email, and he would get around to answering stuff through the years. So I was able and fortunate enough to be able to keep a relationship since the 80s. We were the closest of friends, but he remembered me. And so if I had a question or I needed something or whatever in the media, he was able to answer it. And he remembered my dad had fond memories at WMCA. And, of course, I still have fond memories of the station that I got my start in. It's still a radio station. It's just owned by a different group, and they're kind of doing a different thing. But, man, what a steeped in great history. And Alan was one of them. Actually, Larry King, believe it or not, had a stint on WMCA as well. I was kind of reading through a lot of the well wishes and those that